Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Lorene HD. This video is for anyone who finds themselves in a conversation about herpes or STIs at large with an STI positive person. And the reason why I want to make this video is for a couple reasons. The first one is if we really want to make the stigma something of the past, then we all need to learn how to have those conversations in a respectful way. And the second reason is because probably half the time that I have those conversations with people around me, they happen to find or to say things that I find either inappropriate or offensive. And I figured if it happens to me, it probably happens to you guys too. So this video might be a good one to share with people around you after you disclose your status so that they know kind of like where the barriers are. So in the fashion of yearly performance reviews, which are in season right now, I am going to basically review how good or poor of a job we do in having those conversations. And I'm going to borrow a framework, pretty famous one, called Stop, Start, Continue, to recommend the things that I think we should stop, start, or continue asking or doing when having conversations around STIs. So the first one in the stop category is stop asking, how did you catch it? There's no other answer to that question than by this person being sexually active. So unless that's a revelation for you, there's probably no further inquiry to be made on the case. Most of all for herpes, which is a skin condition, so it can be transmitted from people who also use protection. From the moment you're sexually active, you're basically at risk of catching it. So sorry that this answer doesn't have more drama to it or doesn't give you clearer markers for you to know what is safe or unsafe in order to stay herpes free. But you know, if the answer is as plain as the question, it's probably not a question worth asking. The second thing as part of the stop category to stop doing is stop saying I'm clean to say I'm STI free. The reason why this rubs me the wrong way is because I have an STI and I'm clean. Like, I take showers, I wear clean underwear every day, I do laundry, I clean my apartment. Having an STI doesn't have anything to do with your personal hygiene or how wild or not wild you are in the bedroom. Like I said previously, it has to do with being sexually active, and so unless that is what makes us dirty, then you know, nobody's clean. The third thing as part of the stop category is stop saying, but you know what I mean, when you unintentionally say something offensive. If you said something that you didn't mean, then say what you actually meant. Don't make me reverse interpret that what you meant is not what you said. You know, the choice of the words that we use and the assumptions behind those words all have implications that matter. And I know that you guys didn't coin the colloquialisms that we use, but when you use them, you're actually validating the wrong assumptions behind them, and on the receiving end, it just hurts. Now, moving on to the start category, start considering their privacy when you're asking questions. So it's not because someone just let you know of their STI diagnosis that they're all of a sudden automatically ready to share every aspect of their private and personal lives. There are questions like, have you ever given it to someone, or have you ever been rejected, or how do partners typically respond to your disclosure, that you know might trigger some hurtful stories of their past that they might not be ready quite yet to share with you. My advice is to let those experiences come up organically and spontaneously from the person who carries an STI, or if you're going to ask, just caveat that if they're not ready or comfortable to answer, then it's totally okay. Like, make them feel in control that they are the ones who put barriers around the conversation, and that it's not because you ask them a question that they owe you an answer. Usually a pretty efficient way to know if your question is appropriate is by asking yourself if you would feel comfortable answering it. And if you wouldn't, then it's probably not a question worth asking. So the second thing as part of the start category is relate it to you and don't make it all about them. Basically, the last thing that a herpes positive or STI positive person wants to feel is marginalized. So sure, I have herpes and you don't, but it doesn't mean that you will never catch it. So how about we start popping questions that make this conversation enriching for the both of us? You know, questions like, how and where do I get tested? How can I protect myself? How should I talk about it? What is okay to say? What is not okay to say? Just questions that make this person understand that you're trying to educate yourself around it. You're not just trying to pry into their own experience as if, you know, this thing that is happening to them could never happen to you. So the first one, as part of the last category, continue, is continue seeing them and treating them the same way. And this is kind of obvious, but believe it or not, I've received emails from viewers who were telling me that their relatives were skeptical to share bathrooms with them, or other just sketchy things that made them feel like really marginalized. Herpes is a skin condition and it requires direct skin-to-skin contact for transmission to happen. So unless you're planning on rubbing your genitals or mouth on their genitals, then there is really no way you start behaving in a different way with them, because herpes positives are the same exact people as they used to be before their diagnosis, and it's your job not to make them feel any other way. And the last point as part of this last category, continue, is continue having conversations about it. It happened to me before that I would share with someone that I had, you know, casually share that I had herpes, and I could feel like this person really wanted to talk about it, but because they didn't know how to, or maybe they were scared of saying something wrong, they kind of like shied away from having the conversation on it like repeatedly, and it just made things a little bit awkward. You know, if we really want to make the stigma something of the past, we need to normalize those conversations, and only by having more conversations will it make it less taboo, or will it leave less room for people to just go by their wrong assumptions. So whether it's your friend, your partner, your relative, whoever, do what you can so that this person's disclosure is not the first and last time that you guys are able to exchange on the topic. You know, find a wavelength that is comfortable for the both of you and take it from there. Just go with the flow. If you think this video was helpful, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have suggestions on what you would want people to stop, start, or continue to say as part of those conversations that you're having with your entourage, please leave them in the comments below. If you would prefer to do that just with me privately, you can also drop me a note on the holler section of my blog, linked in the information below. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.